Hey traders, welcome to this video where I'll be covering the recent price action in Bitcoin and also going through an overview of what Bitcoin has been up to from an Elliott wave perspective. Bitcoin and a lot of the larger cap cryptocurrencies have what I would call a very high percentage of Ellioticity, meaning that they adhere very closely to the Elliott wave principle. The reason they do that is because they're very good examples of financial markets. Now, I'm going to do a breakdown of the distinction between an economic market and a financial market in the near future, but just know that for now, a financial market is one that is driven by speculative herding behavior. And I can't think of too many markets that fit the bill better than Bitcoin in terms of speculative herding behavior. So as you can see, I'm tracking Bitcoin higher. Notice here we've got waves 1, 2, 3, and 4 at a primary degree finished, and we're tracking Bitcoin now into a final fifth wave advance before we see a much deeper correction, much deeper and painful than even the crypto winter that kicked off in 2017, or even the recent sideways price action we've seen since spring of 2021. All right, we ain't seen nothing yet. But before that happens, I fully expect Bitcoin to break the six-figure barrier. Okay, so I'm going to go over the recent price action here, and I'll give you my thoughts as to what the possibilities are. I'll leave it up to you to determine what the most likely path is. I'll give you some of my thoughts on that. But the important thing to note, if you're going to take anything away from this video today, is that Bitcoin is approaching an important juncture where the coin is going to have to tip its hand, and it's going to eliminate a lot of the possibilities that I'll be discussing with you right now. And as we get more price action that develops, and as we eliminate those possibilities, it will eventually leave us with a very clear idea of what to expect over the coming weeks and months, if not the next year or two. So let's get right into it. Now, I do believe, as you can see from my labels here, that we've completed this intermediate degree wave 3 of primary degree wave 5. Now, what's open to interpretation is whether we've already bottomed in wave 4 and we've started an advance to complete wave 5, or if wave 4 is still undergoing, if it's still taking shape. Now, wave 4s are brutal. Wave 2s are nice because they tend to be over relatively quickly and they tend to be fairly sharp. So you get a nice little pullback to be able to trade. So you can see, this is an example of a wave 2. This wave 4 is brutal. I personally think the odds are that we haven't finished wave 4 yet. This wave 4 here would have been brutal, very long and drawn out. And yeah, I guess you could say that there are some similarities here, but you notice this triangle here, this triangle wave B in this wave 4, that's what makes this fourth wave absolutely brutal, because there's so many false starts. Traders would be absolutely getting chopped up during this period here. And it looks like this wave 4 that's developing is no different. So I'm going to go through the possibility first that we've already completed 5 waves up and done at primary degree. All right, so that would look like this. Now, I don't think this count is very likely given the decline that we've experienced so far. The decline doesn't feel particularly impulsive. So that's one clue, in my opinion, that we probably haven't finished 5 waves up. The other is that the fifth wave here is not really proportionate to the steep slope that we've seen in wave 1. So I do like to look for some degree of proportionality here, and we don't have that. So that's one reason. Another reason against counting Bitcoin as 5 up and done at a much higher degree. However, I could make an argument, that we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to finish 5 of 5 of 5. All right, so that is one possibility. I don't think that's likely, and I don't think the way the market has traded since we put in this top back in November 2021 suggests that we're all finished here in Bitcoin. Okay, so the subsequent price action we've had since that May top doesn't tell me that it's extremely likely we've put in the top for years to come in crypto. Okay, I don't think that's the case. However, there is a possibility, okay, that we finish 5 waves up here, and that this is altogether wave 1 of 5, and that the decline here is wave 2, and we're getting ready to launch into wave 3 of 5, which means we get a fourth wave pullback followed by a final fifth wave. That's a possibility. That's a possibility, okay? I'll grant you that. There's another possibility, however, that Bitcoin is trading sideways in a running triangle, right? So that means we'll eventually get converging trend lines like this, likely converging trend lines. It's possible we get a barrier triangle, which old school technical analysts would call an ascending triangle. Okay, so it's possible that we're going to get some pop higher, followed by a steeper decline, followed by another pop higher. Okay, I would love to see the triangle interpretation really make itself clear, because that gives me a very good idea of what to expect and where to start counting this final fifth wave from. So that's, in my opinion, the most likely path that prices can take right now. However, the second most likely path to complete wave 4 is that we're dealing with what's called an expanded flat. Expanded flats are classic bull-bear traps in both directions. So that means we have our wave A here. Wave B of the expanded flat made a new high, which would have trapped a lot of bulls. And then we're going to break below this obvious support level of wave A to complete the bear trap. So that means we're going to get another dump here below support. A lot of bulls are going to get shaken out. Weak hands will fold their long positions because they'll see this as a major support. Then the expanded flat will finish, and then we take off in wave 5. All right, so those are the two scenarios for what I think is most likely to happen. All right, I get it. We can count 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But those 5 waves up don't really have the shape of a classic impulse. All right, why is that? Notice the slope here of this wave 3. Wave 3 tends to be the most powerful wave in an Elliott wave cycle. And it's usually the wave that's the most extended. So you compare that wave 3 to this wave 3, and I get it. This would still be, wave 3 of wave 1 of primary degree, wave 5. I get that. But this wave 3 is not impressive to me. It trades more like the final wave of a corrective 3-wave sequence. Okay, so what I mean by that is I think this is 1 wave, this is 2 waves, and this is 3 waves. And an impulsive with trend advance cannot be in 3 waves. All right, so that's my argument, or that I should say that's the evidence that leads me to believe we have not bottomed in wave 4 and we're still developing in a 4th wave. Whether that 4th wave takes the shape of a triangle or of a flat, it's too early to say. In my opinion, a key level to watch out for, a key resistance area to watch out for, if we break above this area here on the price chart, let's call it roughly up to 46,500, that tells me the triangle is most likely the scenario that's in play. Where can we expect that triangle, this wave of the triangle to top out? I'd be looking at a 61.8% multiple of this decline. So if we are in a triangle situation, I'd expect this. I'd expect prices to reach 55,500. We get another 3-wave decline to complete wave E, the final leg of that triangle, and then we start rocketing higher. The reason I'm hoping we have a triangle is because once a triangle concludes, there's one thing you can virtually almost always count on, and that is a swift thrust out of that triangle. Right? Love triangles for that reason. You get a very reliable thrust out of the triangle. If you want to see some examples of some triangles that have recently taken shape, there's a few in the stock market that I've been tracking. Like there's this one in Lockheed Martin. Look at that. We made a really swift run out of the triangle. And what follows that swift run out of a triangle is almost always an equally dramatic collapse. There was a classic triangle in Tesla, all right, that basically preceded the enormous sell-off that we saw here. All of this sideways mess. Okay, so triangles are fantastic trading patterns because they tell us, they warn us at multiple degrees of trend what we can expect. And in that penultimate run-up, this was also another triangle here. So triangles are one of my favorite Elliott wave patterns because they offer us very clear-cut trading opportunities, and it tells us, again, what to expect. Once the thrust out of the triangle is over, we can expect a steep decline. All right, show you one more in gold. All right, look at that. We get a sharp thrust out of the triangle and then a steep decline. So the triangle would be ideal for me from a trading perspective because it will give me a very clear idea of what to expect. All right. If we get an expanded flat, well, expanded flats are also suggestive of enormous continued pressure in the direction of the larger trend. So if we get an expanded flat, which is the other possibility here, it also suggests we're going to see tremendous upside in Bitcoin. And that in turn allows us to set highly accurate targets. Now, setting targets is a little bit outside the scope of what I intended with this video, so that might be something else to cover next time. But I've hit my 10-minute mark. I wanted to keep this around 10 minutes. So there you have it. There's my crypto overview for Bitcoin. And of course, what's going to happen with Bitcoin is likely going to set the tone for what's going to happen with the broader cryptocurrency market as a whole. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. If you're not in our Discord server, send me a DM or post a comment in the YouTube channel, and I'll send you an invite link to our free Discord server. Thanks, guys. See you soon.